Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're going deep on personal growth and success
Oh, good topic.
with Dr. Robert Anthony's Beyond Positive Thinking.
You know this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I read it for the show, but it's a revised edition of his book, The Advanced Formula for Total Success.
Okay.
And let me tell you, this book,
Is it good?
oh, it's good. It gets right to the point, you know.
Oh, look at that.
It's packed with practical advice, all based on like solid psychology and even some like metaphysics sprinkled in.
Metaphysics.
Yeah. But it's all about helping you, create the life you actually want.
Sounds right up our alley.
Right. And actually, even Dr. Joe Vitale.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. He gives Dr. Anthony a huge shout out in the intro.
Nice.
He says Anthony's work had a big impact on his own journey.
That's awesome.
So, we're in good company.
Yeah. If Joe Vitale is reading it.
Exactly. So we're not just talking about the typical think positive stuff. This goes way deeper. Dr. Anthony goes right into how our minds work.
The nitty gritty.
Yeah. And how we can actually tap into that power
I like it.
to, really transform our lives.
Just what we're all about here.
Right. So he starts off by challenging,
Challenging what?
well, both positive and negative thinking.
Okay.
He says they're both kind of filtered through, our belief systems.
Sure.
And those beliefs,
They can be messed up sometimes.
yes, sometimes they're based on like straight up illusions.
I feel that.
So then the question is, what's the alternative?
Right. If positive and negative thinking are both not the best.
Yeah. And he gives us this super interesting concept. He calls it right thinking.
Okay, right thinking. I like the sound of that.
It's not just slapping a positive label on things.
We're pretending everyth's fine.
No, not at all. And it's not ignoring negativity either.
Okay.
It's about aligning your actions with the truth.
Deep.
Yeah, the truth that your higher self shows you.
Like your intuition.
Yeah, exactly. It's about seeing things clearly
That makes sense.
so you can solve problems in a way that actually truly works.
I dig it. Right thinking.
Right. But honestly, sometimes I feel stuck.
Shatag.
Like I'm using a teaspoon.
a teaspoon.
Yeah, like I'm trying to scoop up all the good stuff in life. But
Yeah, but there's so much more.
yeah, like a whole river of abundance right in front of me.
Oh, I see.
Does Dr. Anthony address that? That feeling of like limitation?
He does. He actually uses that exact analogy, the river of life.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. He says you can use a teaspoon, a bucket, or a whole barrel
Wow.
to take what you need. The limits, he says, are all in our heads.
Self-imposed limitations?
Exactly.
Okay, so then how do we break free from those?
Well, he talks about understanding the self.
Like who we really are?
Yes. He separates who we are from what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And he says all that beating ourselves up over past mistakes.
Oh.
That's our ego talking, not our true selves.
Oh, that's good. So it's not about denying what we've done,
But separating those actions.
from who we are at our core.
Right. He says we need to affirm our self-perfection.
Self-perfection.
Yeah. Recognizing that we are already like spiritually whole and complete.
Okay.
And our actions, they don't define us.
Do you?
We are not our mistakes.
Oh, I like that. That's a relief to hear.
Right.
But if we're not defined by what we do,
Then what shapes our experiences?
yeah, what shapes our outcomes?
That's where our self-talk comes in.
Self-talk, like how we talk to ourselves.
Exactly. Dr. Anthony says that shapes our self-image.
Makes sense.
And then that self-image, well, it influences our behavior.
And the results we get.
Right. It creates this like self-reinforcing cycle. Your performance affects how you talk to yourself, which then affects your self-image, which then affects your future performance.
Oh, wow. So if I keep telling myself I'm not good enough
You're more likely to act in ways that confirm that belief.
and get results that reinforce it.
Exactly. But on the flip side,
If I focus on my strengths,
and visualize yourself succeeding,
uh-huh,
then you start replacing those negative images.
so powerful. So it's not just about thinking positive. It's about,
Thinking right.
yeah, aligning our thoughts with who we truly are.
Powerful stuff.
But how do we actually make that shift?
Well, Dr. Anthony introduces some tools for reprogramming the mind.
Okay, like what?
Things like affirmations and visualizations.
Oh, okay.
They might sound familiar,
Yeah, I've heard of those.
but he takes them to a whole new level, and he emphasizes that we need to like challenge those deep-seated beliefs that are holding us back.
So not just repeating positive phrases.
No, it's deeper than that. He says positive self-talk, visualizations, when done right, can reprogram your mind for success.
Like rewiring your brain.
Yeah. He even uses this analogy.
I love a good analogy.
Okay, picture a glass of dirty water.
Okay.
And then you pour clean water into it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the dirty water?
It gets pushed out.
Right, so the clean water, that's like your positive thought.
And the dirty water's the negative beliefs.
Yes. You're replacing negativity with empowering thoughts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a process, though, right?
It is. But with consistent effort, you can change those patterns. And with affirmations, he gives you specific do's and don'ts.
Oh, good, because I need help with those.
Well, for example, he says people make the mistake of using vague statements.
Yeah, like I want to be happy.
Right. Or focusing on what they don't want instead of what they do want.
So instead of I don't want to be broke, it's...
I am financially abundant.
Oh, I like that.
You gotta be specific, positive, and present tense focused.
Powerful. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. He has this thing he calls the affirmation insurance policy.
What's that?
He says to add this little phrase to your affirmations.
Okay.
I accept this, or something better. Please make whatever takes place for the highest good of myself and everyone else involved.
Ooh, that's good. It's like acknowledging...
Like the universe might have a better plan.
Yeah, but there might be something even better out there.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off of controlling every little thing.
I like that. Okay, so we've talked about right thinking, self-talk, and affirmations. What else is in store for us?
Well, next we'll dive into attracting financial abundance.
Oh, that's my favorite topic.
Yeah?
Let's do it. All right, so financial abundance. Who doesn't want more of that?
Yeah, it's like this universal desire.
Totally. But sometimes it feels so elusive.
Yeah, like there's some secret formula we're missing.
Exactly. So what does Dr. Anthony say about attracting more wealth and creating that financial freedom?
Well, he starts by saying that it all begins within.
Within.
Yeah, like with our consciousness.
Oh, okay.
Not with external factors, you know.
Interesting. So it's not about getting that promotion or winning the lottery.
It's more about shifting our mindset around money.
Makes sense. Because I consider myself a pretty positive person.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes to money, I definitely have some like deep-seated fears and beliefs.
That's super common.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. We pick up these subconscious beliefs about money from all over the place.
Like where?
Our families, our culture, even jokes or sayings we hear growing up.
Wow, I never thought about that.
It's subtle but powerful.
So what kind of beliefs are we talking about?
Well, things like money is the root of all evil,
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
or rich people are greedy, or even just feeling like we don't deserve to be wealthy.
Oof, that's a tough one.
Right. But those beliefs can really sabotage our efforts.
To attract abundance.
Exactly. It's like we're putting up these invisible barriers.
So how do we break free from those?
Well, Dr. Anthony suggests a few things. One is to challenge those beliefs directly.
Okay, how do we do that?
Ask yourself where they came from. Are they really your beliefs? Or did you inherit them from someone else?
Good question.
And are they based on facts or just stories you've been telling yourself?
It's like shining a light on those beliefs.
Exactly. Expose them to the truth.
I like that.
Another powerful approach is cultivating what he calls an abundance consciousness.
Abundance consciousness.
Yeah, it's about shifting your perspective to see the limitless nature of the universe.
Okay.
Like believing there's more than enough for everyone.
That's a good one.
Abundance isn't a pie that needs to be divided.
Uh-huh.
It's an ever-expanding feast.
I love that analogy.
Right, more for everyone.
It changes the whole game. And speaking of creating more,
Yes.
Dr. Anthony talks about this universal bank.
Oh, that's a good one.
What is that?
He says giving without expecting anything in return.
Okay.
It's like making a deposit into this universal bank.
Interesting.
And that generosity, that willingness to contribute,
Yeah.
it comes back to you with interest at the perfect time.
It's like karma points.
Kind of. It's
Yeah.
about understanding that abundance flows through giving.
So the more we give, the more we open ourselves up to receiving.
Exactly. But then there's fear, right?
Ugh, yeah. Fear can be a big one when it comes to money.
It can block the flow of abundance.
In what way?
Well, he says it often leads to, like, unexpected expenses. Yeah, it's like we're unconsciously creating the things we're afraid of.
You know, it's funny you say that.
Why?
Because it's like when you're worried about your car breaking down,
Yeah,
and then it actually does break down.
it's crazy how that works.
Like our fear is attracting those negative experiences.
It's a real phenomenon. And he also talks about the importance of being a good receiver.
Receiver.
Yeah, it's not just about giving, but also being open to receiving.
Oh, okay.
Like compliments, gifts, opportunities. accept them gracefully.
So it's about completing that cycle of abundance.
Yes, letting go of
That's
resistance to receive.
Releasing that feeling of unworthiness.
Exactly. And then he talks about the seed money principle.
Seed money.
Yeah, it's about planting seeds of wealth by giving to things that support your personal growth.
Interesting. So like investing in ourselves.
Yes, he believes that by giving to causes aligned with our growth,
Hmm.
we're essentially investing in our own abundance.
It's like nurturing the soil where our wealth will grow.
I love that. It's a beautiful way to look at it.
So it's not just about accumulating wealth. It's about
Circulating it consciously.
in a way that benefits us and the world.
Exactly. And that brings us to another cool part of his work. Overcoming obstacles and achieving goals. He has this framework called the 5 R's.
5 R's. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's a process for shifting your consciousness and creating the results you want.
Ooh, I like that. Lay it on me. What are the 5 R's?
They are relax, recognize, realize, reason, and release.
Okay, those sound powerful.
He says when you practice these 5 steps together, you can navigate any challenge and manifest your dreams.
All right, I'm ready to unlock my inner superpower. Break it down for me. What does each R represent?
So the first one, relax, is all about achieving both physical and emotional relaxation,
Okay,
like releasing tension and stress before you tackle anything challenging.
that makes sense.
It's about creating a calm and clear space within yourself.
Yeah, because it's hard to think straight when you're all stressed out.
Exactly. The second R is recognize,
Recognize what?
the existence of a universal mind.
Oh, like a higher power.
Yeah, a source of infinite power, knowledge, and wisdom.
Okay, so we're tapping into something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. And then comes realize
I realize what?
that our minds are actually part of that universal mind.
Whoa, we're all connected.
We're connected to its infinite potential.
Okay, that's mind-blowing.
It changes everything when you realize you're not alone on this journey.
And we have access to all that wisdom and power.
Yes, and once you acknowledge that connection, you move to the fourth R, reason.
Reason, okay, what does that involve?
It's about using logic and reason to overcome negative self-talk.
So choosing our thoughts consciously
Yes, and focusing on the outcome you desire.
instead of dwelling on what we fear.
Exactly. And finally, there's release.
Release what?
Worry. And trust that your subconscious mind will bring your goal to fruition.
Ah, surrender. Letting go of that need to control everything.
You got it. Once you've set your intention and taken action, you have to let go.
Trust the process.
Trust the universe.
Okay, I love this framework, the 5 R's. But what about those limiting beliefs that can still creep in?
Yes. Those pesky beliefs. Well, that's where Dr. Anthony gets even more practical. He dives into the common fears and anxieties that hold us back from taking action.
Yeah, fear can be such a tricky thing.
It really can. It disguises itself as, like, being practical or wise.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's really just holding us back.
So what kind of fears does he talk about?
Well, he talks about those universal fears we all face.
Like?
Fear of failure,
Oh, yeah.
fear of judgment,
Hmm.
and the fear of the unknown.
Classic fears.
But they can be so paralyzing. They can keep us stuck in our comfort zones.
For sure, he calls them invisible walls.
Perfect description.
Mm.
So how do we deal with them?
He says to examine them.
Like really look at them?
Yeah. Ask yourself, is this fear based on reality? Or is it just, my own insecurities?
That's a good question to ask.
Often, when we shine a light on our fears,
They lose their power.
exactly, it's like letting the air out of a balloon.
I like that analogy.
And he also talks about the impact of what he calls NIOPs.
NIOPs.
Yeah. Stands for negative influence of other people.
Okay, I've never heard that before.
Basically, those people who even unintentionally spread negativity.
Oh yeah, I know those people.
They can limit our growth.
With their pessimism and doubt.
Exactly. They might have good intentions, but
But their negativity can be contagious.
it really can. So you have to be mindful of who you spend your time with.
Set boundaries,
Yes, you don't have to cut people out of your life
but limit your exposure
to their negativity.
and surround yourself with people who lift you up.
Exactly. Choose to nourish yourself with positive energy.
That's a great way to put it. And you know what else I like about Dr. Anthony?
What's that?
He challenges that belief that life has to be complicated and difficult.
Yes. Keeping it simple.
Because, honestly, sometimes it feels like we make things so much harder than they need to be.
Right. He reminds us that creating success is actually pretty simple.
Okay, I'm listening.
Set a goal, believe you can achieve it. Take action. He even says to give up hope.
Give up hope. Wait, isn't hope a good thing?
He's not saying give up on your dreams.
Oh.
He means give up hope as a form of procrastination.
I see.
Because when we're hoping, we're passively waiting for something to happen.
Instead of taking action ourselves.
Right. It prevents us from being responsible in the present moment.
So it's about shifting from passive hope to active creation.
Exactly. And that leads to his final point, which I think ties everything together.
What's that?
The power of the present moment.
Ah, the present moment. Easier said than done, right?
It can be. But he reminds us that the present moment is the only place where we can truly experience and create our lives.
But it's so easy to get caught up in the past.
Or worry about the future.
Totally. It's like mental time travel.
It keeps us stuck in a loop of regret and anxiety.
He says to say yes to the present moment.
Yes. While consciously creating our desired future.
Okay.
And he makes this distinction between inner and outer purpose.
Ooh, what's that about?
He says outer purpose is about achieving goals and creating the life we want in the material world.
Okay.
And inner purpose is about cultivating joy and peace and fulfillment.
In the present moment.
Right now, regardless of external circumstances.
So it's finding that balance.
Exactly. Between striving for our goals and savoring the journey.
Appreciating each moment along the way.
Yes. Don't put your happiness on hold until you reach some future goal.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. We've covered so much ground.
Right. Thinking, self-talk, affirmations, financial abundance, overcoming obstacles, the present moment.
It's like a whole toolkit for personal growth.
And it's all about empowerment.
Yeah, taking control of our lives and creating what we truly desire.
Exactly. So for our listeners who are ready to take that leap, to move beyond positive thinking,
What's one small step they can take today?
start paying attention to your self-talk.
Become aware of those negative beliefs.
Yeah. What stories are you telling yourself, about money, about your ability to achieve your goals?
And then
Consciously replace those limiting beliefs with empowering affirmations.
choose to focus on what you want to create.
And don't forget about visualization.
See yourself living that dream life.
Feel the joy, the excitement, the accomplishment.
Plant those seeds in your imagination.
Remember the 5 R's.
Relax, recognize, realize, reason, and release.
It's a powerful process.
And remember to give up hope.
Not on your dreams, but on passive waiting.
Embrace active creation.
Step into your power.
It's all about taking charge of our lives. And if you want to dive deeper into all of this,
Check out Dr. Robert Anthony's book, Beyond Positive Thinking.
it's packed with practical advice.
And here's a final thought for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
What one small step can you take today to start living a life that brings you joy and excitement?
That's a great question to ponder.
It could be starting a new hobby, reconnecting with a friend, spending time in nature.
Or just taking a moment to appreciate the beauty around you.
Remember, you have the power to create a life you love.
One step at a time.
Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
We'll see you next time.